This is Amy Chan from CakeDecoratingSchool.com, and if you like cake decorating, you're in the right place. Welcome to our flower series. In this video, we are piping buttercream violets. We're going to break everything down by steps, and the videos are going to be broken up into segments, so you can skip ahead, rewatch, or rewind as desired. So let's start making our colors. I'm going to make two colors today. The first is going to be a purple, and the second is going to be a yellow. And we are using our American style buttercream, and we're going to use some violet and some lemon yellow liquid gel color to create our different shades. I'm going to start with my purple, and I just have a little bit of buttercream in my bowl, not a lot. Violets are small flowers, and I'm just going to give it 2 drops to start with. I just want to make a nice purple, nothing too crazy. There we go. And not too dark. And violets come in a variety of different colors and shades, usually whites and purples, and you can get light colored ones, really dark, intense, what I call midnight purple ones. They're that really, really deep purple. But I just want to make a nice kind of medium tone purple today. Just something right there in the middle, just so it reads nicely on camera, but not too dark. And that's going to be perfect. My second color is going to be some yellow for my centers. I've got my lemon yellow, and I'm just going to give it a drop. So it can just be any shade of yellow. We just want something in there in the middle for a little bit of contrast, and yellow is going to give us a nice little pop of color against that purple, give us some centers, and help all of our flowers stand out, especially if you're going to put a bunch of them on a cake or a cupcake. Helps to differentiate them, tell the petals apart, tell where the centers are. And that's a beautiful, nice lemony shade of yellow, so it's going to be perfect for those little dots for our centers. Let's talk about the techniques that we're going to use to create our little violet flowers. So we're going to do 2 different things, petals and then dots for centers, and there's 2 types of petals. We're going to create these with our number 59 tips, so same small curved petal tip for each, and some of them we're essentially going to pipe a round petal. So think about it as we're just going to draw out a little bit and take a long trip around this back arc, right, nice and slow and fat, and come back. And that's going to give us a nice round fat shaped petal. And then the second is an elongated one. And for this, we're going to pull out longer, curve quickly at the top, and then pull back. And that's going to give us a longer teardrop shape. And the tip for these is the 59. So you can see it's a small curved petal tip. You probably have larger size of this as well. And it's just got that little curve shape, and that's going to be great for making these tiny, delicate little violets. So we want a small tip for tiny flowers. And then we're going to use a number 1 tip for our dots. And so these are just going to be cute little dots here. So anytime we do a dot up off the surface, anytime we do a dot up off the surface, let it balloon out and then spiral around to finish it off so we get a nice, clean little dot. And I'm going to just quickly do some petals here. So imagine when we do the elongated ones, we're pulling out long. It's hard to do on a tray. Spin around and pull back so we get a nice long shape. And for these, we're going to just spin around with the nail to create a nice kind of round, fatter one. So you can see we get the look nice and round and fat, elongated and skinny, and some nice little dots, and we're going to combo this all together to make our violets. So let's talk about building your blossoms. We've got our little techniques. We're going to make our round petals and our elongated ones, and we're going to use our dots to finish them. But important things to note. We want to do our 3 elongated petals close together on the bottom. You'll see they're going to be kind of facing downwards. We'll have one in the center and one going off at each angle on each side. And then on the top half, we're gonna have those two round petals, and we wanna leave them kind of overlapping just a little bit in the center. And we wanna make sure we leave a gap on each side there so that there's some separation and definition between the top portion of the flower and the bottom portion of the flower. And then we're just gonna finish them off real quick and easy with two little dots right next to each other in that yellow in the center. And that's gonna give us quick, easy, petite little violet flowers. So let's start piping our little violet flowers and put those techniques we talked about to use. So now I'm using little squares of parchment to pipe on, and you'll notice that I've just quickly taken a Sharpie. So if you don't have one of those, a nice dark pencil or marker, and marked it on one side. I've divided it kind of in half. And I want that marker just so that I have a nice visualization for where the top half and bottom half of my flower are. So I know to divide those two fat round petals up top and the three skinny ones on bottom. And that just makes it a little bit easier to visualize things if you can see that line through. So just something that's dark enough to show through. And then especially if it's not something food safe, flip it over so it's on the underside. It's not having contact with anything, but you can still see it, and it makes your work nice and easy. So I've just affixed myself with a little buttercream, and I'm going to start out with my elongated petals, and it's a little easier for me to pipe away from myself, so I'm just going to do these on what's now the top, spin it around, and then do my round ones. So I've got the bag so that the fat end of the tip is towards the center. I'm kind of in my lay flat position, which, because this is a curved tip, means that that little skinny end is up off the surface. And you'll notice the back of the bag is pointing out kind of like, I don't know, around 130-ish in terms of a clock position. And I'm just going to pipe those three elongated petals really close together. So you can see one out to each side, 45-degree angle, and then one there in the center. And that gives you that nice tight grouping. I'm going to spin it around for myself. And then I'm going to do those two nice fat round ones over here. So spin real slow, nice big round little petals over here. Second one, overlapping the first. And you can see that gives me a sweet little violet flower that I can easily finish off with two little dots in the center to make it really stand out. And I went ahead and did these on my regular large nail that I use for things like big chrysanthemums, peonies, and all those kinds of flowers, just to kind of point out and give you some perspective about the size of these. They're really petite flowers, so they're nice and delicate, and they're a great little touch, especially on things for like an afternoon tea. It's a really easy flower to master quickly, and you can easily produce a lot of them really quickly, and it doesn't take a lot of buttercream because they're nice and tiny. So there you have a beautiful little buttercream violet. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like more about the cake decorating materials and equipment we use, or just some inspirational videos about cake decorating itself, you can follow us on Insta or YouTube at Cake Decorating School. If you'd like to know more about yearly membership and what it entails, you can go to www.cakedecoratingschool.com for more information. And if you're interested in these products, you can check the links in the description.